What is going on, everybody? Welcome to In My GT Entertainment, and I am Joel. Today we are doing the dreaded video of the things that you need to do to prepare to go on a trip for us, Mustang Week. So we're going to go ahead with Electra and give you kind of a rundown of what we do, or what I do, times 3 this year, because Electra, Stormy, and I believe Metheus is going to, because of Brandon's little mishap. So I don't think his car is going to be ready. They are fixing it, but it's not going to be ready. There's some little pieces, parts around here, but I'm not going to show you all that today. And we're going to get into the video and show you some of the things that I check or do before I go on a trip. So we'll catch you in a sec. All right, everyone. What I would do first here is go through what I call my fluid check. So I would definitely check your oil, your antifreeze, and your coolant tank. Those of y'all that have a JLT oil separator, I would just check the level in that, make sure that it's not full. Coming over to my car, I have a separate antifreeze holder for the intercooler. So that is at optimal level. You want to make sure that your brake fluid is topped off and not leaking. So level wise, that's what I would check with all of them. For those of y'all that have aftermarket hoods and no window squirters, it doesn't matter for you on this one, but you may want to check your windshield wiper fluid also. I do have it on mine, so I do check that. Alright, everyone, while we're under here, I do check my serpentine belt. As you can tell, I have the green belt on here right now. You want to just look on the edges of it, make sure it's not fraying, any wear and tear that looks unusual. Unfortunately, the green belt don't stay green long. It gets in that little dirt look to it. But the belt itself is fine. I do have a spare in my trunk because I always carry a spare because of the supercharger. Like I said, in using a grip tech pulley, I've heard that you know, they're harder on the belts themselves. So I always carry a spare one with me. So you definitely want to check your belt. If it's not supercharged and it's just your regular belt, you still want to make sure there's no cracks or anything like that. So we're good on that aspect of the pulley and the belts. And for those of y'all that have superchargers, with my Whipple right there, let's see if I can point at it. Where is it? Right there. There's an out window to see what your oil level is for the actual supercharger. You may want to check that to make sure you're fine. With my particular supercharger, it's supposedly 100,000 miles on it before you have to change it, but you know, that depends how you drive it and what it's dealing with. Some of the other superchargers are tapped into the oil pan or self, like that one, so just want to keep an eye on that. Alright guys, now moving outside of the car a little bit, you definitely want to check your tires, make sure they're not balding, having tracking issues, meaning, you know, that they have worn in a certain way that, you know, they track on the road. Make sure that they're not balding on one side versus the other, any cords showing. So you definitely want to make sure you're not having any issues with that. My tires are still basically brand new, so I don't have any issues with that at all. And while we're down here, your brakes, you want to make sure that your brakes aren't showing any weird wear and tear, you know, wearing unevenly with the rotor itself. If you can look at the rotor as I'm trying to get closer to it, making sure that there's no weird cracking or hot spots or anything like that. So far we are good with the way that it's working on my car. And just a side note, I love these Firestone tires. I got them on quite a few of my different rims. So if y'all looking for a good, fairly inexpensive tire, try the Firehawk Indy 500s. I guarantee you won't be upset. So they do really well. Next thing on my list, and this is in no particular order, I want to do what's called a light check. So I'll go ahead and hit the button on my alarm and make sure that all my indicator lights are on. My driving lights. And all the indicators are on. And then go into the back, make sure there's no weirdness with that. Sorry for the fan noise, guys. So that's a definite thing that you want to check, because you will be driving probably at night in another state. So you want to make sure that your car is legal in that aspect, so you don't have to deal with the unfortunate incidents that occur at Mustang Week. Alright guys, next thing would be windshield wiper blades. Make sure that they're not cracking, dry rotted, ripped apart, or whatever. I have a brand new set on mine. I have actually a brand new set on all my cars because I change them all at the same time. But like the car, like Metheus, is always outside. So that one might wear a lot quicker than the one from in here. You just want to make sure that they're looking good on your way out. Like I said, they're not the most expensive things in the world. You know, 30 bucks, you got a set. At least you know they'll work. Back to the tire situation. Forgot to mention that you definitely want to check your tire pressure before you go. Make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to. These cars do have the idiot sensor inside that lets you know, but I actually have that force scanned off because I go through so many rims. Sometimes I don't buy TPS sensors. This one particular set does have the TPS sensors, but it is turned off. So I will check these tires prior to going to make sure that they have a good PSI in them and no leaks or anything like that, any dry rotting, what have you. Alright guys, for those of y'all that have a spare tire in your car, make sure that that's inflated and ready, easy to get to. Obviously you can see in my car that is not happening. I do have a hatch there, but it's not getting that tire out. So you want to make sure that, you know, your tire, for those of you that can't have a spare tire, that is inflated and ready to go. And another thing, hold on real fast. This is one thing that some people overlook. In the newer gen cars with the no gas cap, you need to have this just in case you run out of gas. Because it opens up the door to let fuel in. If you try to put like a tank in there without this, it won't open up to let the fuel in. So it's good to have this with you. I have to keep reminding myself of it because I don't have it in my car with me. I have it outside the car, but I'm thinking about putting it in the car now. So it's always good to have it just in case. You never know when you're going to run out of gas. You know, you may not be paying attention. I know a lot of my buddies like to run their stuff low. So it's good to have. And just to let y'all know, this is where it goes in my car. So right there is where it's supposed to go. So I put it there. And as you can see, my spare tire is in there, but that's never coming out. But I always do have a spare belt. So with that being said, let's get over to some tools. Alright guys, so This is my traveling tool chest. It has sockets, wrenches, Allen wrenches, all your basic stuff that you probably need just in case something happens along the way. So I definitely take this with me, just because you just never know what you're going to need. Last year it helped out some other people. Not me, thank God, but like I said, we will always carry something with us. And let me show you some of the must-needs that I have for my car. This is one of my must-needs for my car. It is the breaker bar / long socket, I call it. This is, if I need to take my belt off or switch it, this goes in to the tensioner. It goes right in and then makes it easy to get it off. And it's long enough to do what you need to do, and you could do it by yourself. So this is definitely something I take with me. So if you're stranded out there, hit me up. I'll come help you. All right, guys. So that's kind of some of the stuff I look at and check out before I go off. There's other stuff like exhaust. If you have a leak or something like that, you may want to take a peek at. But that's not for everybody, and most people just don't sit there and check their exhaust. But there is some other things that I would say that I would do. It's not so much of a maintenance thing, it's just more of a you thing. So let me show you what I'm talking about with that. Well, from my experience, you may want to do what, having a driving buddy. What I mean about a driving buddy is someone that you're going to pair up with, and if anything happens down the road, stuff like that, you have that as a backup. Most times when you take trips or whatever, it's not going to matter. It's just going to be you or whoever with you. But my knowledge of Mustang Week, we roll about 30, 35 cars. It's hard to keep them all together. People go at different paces. Some people want to have fun along the way. Some people just relax and enjoying the ride. Some people kind of in the middle of that. So you kind of want to pair yourself up with somebody that you can hang with and take the trip with down there, and not have to worry about 15 other people and stuff like that. Everybody gets down there at the same time, different pace, so it kind of is with that. Another thing, you're going to be in the car for a minute. So unless you like the radio or have Sirius XM, get yourself a playlist going, so that way keep yourself focused on what you got going on and deal with the issues that come about. So like I said, it's just kind of little things that I do to get myself prepared for this stuff. I hate doing long drives. I'll be the first to tell you, I hate driving my car longer than 15, 20 minutes sometimes. So like I said, I have to mentally prepare for the trip myself. So with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap up this video. Stand by 1 second. Well guys, that's the video for today. Just want you to be safe on your way. Make sure your car is up to par for a trip. And like I said, have yourself a driving buddy. So that way, so the unforeseen things, at least you won't be seeing them by yourself. So if y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns about this video or any other things that I may have left out or you may be interested in knowing, go ahead and leave me a comment. Like the video, of course, because that does help. But until then, we'll catch you at Mustang Week.